Hello everyone. Uh, this is Rajesh Dwivedi. I am teacher of geography. Today I am covering one topic of class 10 and the topic is the land resources. It is part of the first chapter resource and development. We all know very well that land is a natural resources of utmost importance. Why? Because it supports natural vegetation, wildlife, human life, economic activities, transport, and communication system. It means that everything is done over the land. We, these things can't be done. All these activities of no importance without land. What we find that the land resources in India is that covers approximately 1.3 million square miles. And if you see the map of India, you will find that the southern part, the southern cape, that is heading towards the Indian Ocean in the south, and towards the east, that is Bay of Bengal, and towards the west, that is Arabian Sea. Now, what we see over here, that means the total land resources. If you see the distribution of total land resources, 43% covers plain area, 30% covers mountains, and 27% covers plateau regions. Now, as far as mountains are concerned, what we find over there, the resources, the natural resources, what we find in the mountain area is forest, wildlife, scenic spot, that means the beautiful places, natural beauties, uh, ecology, river system means most of the rivers which is originating from the mountain regions, it covers 30%. In plateau region is the old land mass and they are the storehouse of minerals. And on the slope we find the forest area, and the downslope we find the arable land, means the land that can be used for agriculture, and of course settlement. Rivers are flowing over here, but they are mostly seasonal in nature. Now then comes the plains. Plain area is well suitable for all sorts of things. So the what we find over here, that is the settlements, the density of population. It supports large numbers of and different types of farming activities and other human activities, which is non-agriculture. Then as a whole we find that land is utmost important to human being since the human being start living the sheltered life. How much time back? That's immemorial. Now it is our basic resource, and we know very well that from the time immemorial, this land is much used for fuel, clothing, shelter, and it is a great source of food. It's a place where if we are constructing any building, our house, the office, or whatever, that is done over the land. Then even the amusement, like if we are playing or going for the jogging or walk, that is over the land. And remember one thing, land is a very productive economic uh, activity, uh, because it supports agriculture, forestry, grazing, fishing, and mining. All these things are done over the land. Even we find the water body over the land. Okay, now so what we find that it is considered as, nowadays it is considered as, means the prestige, the social prestige. If someone purchase a house in Delhi or the Mumbai, people starts talking about that, oh, this person is uh, quite powerful in terms of wealth. And of course, if we move towards the politics, the political power, they also focused over using the land resources. Now then comes the land utilization. Land is a factor, as you know, that for the many activities, all the different uses means we are using for all these agriculture, settlement, and others, what we are using, that determines our land utilization, which changes from place to place, person to person, time to time. Okay, miss, how people are using that. Most of these land resources are used in every season, year after year, and it forms a sort of pattern. That pattern is called the land use pattern of a country. Now, let's see some statistical record, land record of India, and I will mention all these records in hectares. Now, first, the total land area of our country, that is 328.7 million hectares. Then we are seeing the total reported land area. Now, see over here, when we talk about the reported land area, we are actually talking about the area about which we have the concrete information, and it covers about 305 million hectares. Then comes unreported area, the area about whom we are not knowing, some part of Assam and the Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and even Chinese, which is nowadays very uh, uh, you can say that hot in the news regarding invasion of China in Ladakh. So what we see that most part of the that is under China, which is called Aksai Chin. So it covers 23 million hectares. That is the 7% of the total land area of India. Then comes the gross zone area. Gross zone area is the area which actually uh, if we use properly, can be brought under the cultivation. But what happened due to our you can say that wrong use, or not using the agricultural land properly, we have to leave some part of the land which is called fallow land, uh, so that they can regain the fertility. So what available to us, what remain available to us in every crop season, that is called the total net sown area, which is 141 million hectares. And if we see the general land use category, what we find, now see in the percentage, the total land area under the net sown, that is 43.41%, and the forest area, that covers 22.57. What the world recommend, that is it should cover 33%, but it is only 22.57. Then what we find that there are the areas which is consuming these resources, and they are converting it non-productive, that is non-agriculture area, the barren land, the wasteland, the fallow land, the land the current fallow. Okay, uh, means the fallow land, as I explained, the land which we leave for 2 or 3 crop season to regain fertility, and the cultivable wasteland. So what we find that all these, they goes up to almost 30%. So that's really not a good sign. And other thing is that, miss, we are having very large number of cattle, but you can see in the figure that it's hardly the permanent pasture and grazing land is hardly 3.45%. So it's not a good sign. So we should try our best. First, this land use category is showing that we have to focus on increasing the grazing land, pastures land, forest area, and we should try our best to reduce all these wasteland, barren land, where uh, means cultivable wasteland, non-agriculture use, current fallow. Means if we try to reduce this and put land in a proper you can say that use, that will be better. Now then comes the factors responsible for land degradation and management of degraded land. First we should know that what is land degradation. Land degradation, it is actually a process where soil keep on deteriorating because of the wrong use. The fertility of soil that goes out, which causes the land degradation. Okay, uh, this is a sort of natural hazards which directly causing us. Okay, and there are some underlying causes, means the causes which we do not know at that moment, which show their reflection laterally. Now, as far as natural hazards, it is actually a condition of the physical environment which lead to the existence of high degradation hazard. For example, steep slopes as a hazard for water erosion. Means what we see over here that if we are not growing vegetation on the slope, this will lead to soil erosion either by the water, movement of water, or by the wind. So what we see that means the wrong use is actually uh, changing the quality of soil and degrade the land. Now, so we should uh, try when we are dividing the land from vegetation cover, okay, and we start increasing the different sorts of pollutions and uh, depositing pollution over the land further degraded. Now as you can see that means the western part of India, that is Rajasthan, is mainly uh, degraded by the movement of the wind. Then comes, you can see that uh, the barren rocky land, which actually uh, we find that means uh, they became unproductive. Then you see the fertile plain area due to uh, excess of irrigation, uh, dividing the land from vegetation cover, salinization increases. Then we see that Bihar is commonly affected by the water logging because it is more and more uh, means flooded by uh, the water which is released from the Nepal, and we see that Chhattisgarh, the area of Chhattisgarh and Odisha, they faces this water erosion. Now, how we can control the land degradation? First, afforestation, especially not only at the different places, but especially around industrial unit. Why? Simply because the trees over there, if we grow over there, they will act as a barrier to the dust which is released by the industry, and they will purify the air. Second, that is the whole world is facing this problem of overgrazing. It should be checked, it should be avoided, and there should be a proper grazing in land where all the cattle will graze. Now, then the planting of shelter belt means if we especially plant the shelter belt along the desert, this will stop the movement of the wind and a very dangerous effect, that is desertification. Shelter belt will not allow the sand to move across. Then comes the proper management of wasteland by bringing land under vegetation cover. This is the best way. If you are not using for anything, leave the land under the vegetation cover. Then comes the control on mining activities, so that means land may not degrade, because the way we are mining, it actually releasing different sorts of pollution, and they settle down at the productive area. It may be water source, it may be forest, or it may be settlement area. Okay. And last but not the least, there should be proper discharge and disposal of industrial effluents and waste, different sorts which is released by the industry. It should be treated before discharging out of industry. I hope you will like this uh, video, and this is the complete information about the land resources.